So just now we talked about exile, right? We introduced new people, Jeroboam II, right? And then now we're going to okay, but we are going to be looking at the scripture in different passages and looking at how different prophetic books, signify the kind of times and seasons that you're looking at. Okay, so if you've got Bibles, draw them out, all right? Take it out, and let's look at some examples. Now there is this idea called this pre-canonical. Now what's the word canon? Do you understand what the word canon is? Right? You know, right? Canon is the process of categorizing the three different sections: the Torah, the Ketuvim, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, right? And every time the 5 books or a certain number of books are set, they close the canon, right? This canon is the standard. What canon means is standard, right? And once you canonize something, you don't change it, right? Like for example, Lord of the Rings, right? The official canon is that whole volume, right, of Middle Earth, the Chronicle of the Third Age, right, which is divided to 6 books. Book 1, Book 2 for the first series called Fellowship of the Ring. Originally, that was not part of it. But the point here is this idea of canon is where it's established as the standard. Okay, then we have this word called pre-canonical. What does that mean? Pre-canonical means before there is a canon. It means before these prophets actually write things down. And there is a whole series of canonical prophets, right, or writing prophets. We call them writing prophets, also known as the latter prophets. There's the former prophets and the latter prophets. These writing prophets are people like Hosea, Amos, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and a whole bunch of others, the 12 of them, right, all wrote down their prophecies. Whereas people like Moses, maybe Elijah and Samuel, they were not known to be writing prophets. They didn't write things down, or they didn't get somebody to write it down. There were people in that time who could write. It's not like, all the people during Elijah's time couldn't write. They could. But Elijah or Elisha never just got around to doing it. However, some scholars say that the whole 1st and 2nd Kings is written by Elijah. But I dispute that because the kings before Elijah, there's a certain sense of narrative continuity from 1st Kings all the way to 2nd Kings to the end of 2nd Kings, which is way beyond Elijah's time. So Elijah could be one of the characters, but perhaps not one of the writers. Anyway, now we come into the pre-exilic prophets, which are the writing prophets, right? And we talked about the exile, okay, being this horrible experience where you can't go back to your home, right? You are barred, or you just can't go back to where you came from. And but before that exile takes place in the northern country in the year 722 BC, or in the south in 586 BC, there were a lot of people living in Israel who were thinking that this would carry on as per normal, for as long as we think it will last. Unfortunately, it did not last, right? The Assyrian army came and decimated the entire land, destroyed the people, raped the women, killed the children, and so on. And it was very horrible. They were, skinning people alive, right? That's the kind of ways they do to instill fear into the people, okay? And the Assyrians were cruel, heartless people whom God raised up to judge his people, okay, for their idolatry and their horrible things. And God says, I will judge you, I will judge you. And the thing is, the mercy of God is shown in the fact that he warns the people before these events take place, 20, 30, 50 years before they actually take place. But the people do not take these words seriously. Now, to kind of add a chilling effect onto our discussion today, I would say that today we are living in exactly the same time and the same conditions that the people of Israel lived as well. We have today, 2016, right, prophecies of a coming end of the world, of an antichrist, of a global government, of all these things. And the Christians, maybe even some of us in this room, we are just completely oblivious to these things. We're just busy about our own, personal lives, and just making ends meet and trying to finish our homework, and trying not to act like tea bags, act like too much of a weird person in your class, do not give unnecessary attention and things like that. We're just worried about some of these things when the bigger issues about the nation going to be decimated and destroyed is ticking away slowly and surely. So we are actually no different from the people of Israel in the northern kingdom before the actual end of that kingdom came in 722. So so let's go into a snapshot of how things were like in those times, and we're going to take different parts in different times of Israel to get a contrast. Okay, so there are three periods, right? There's this period called the exile. There's the pre-exilic period, and then there's the exilic, and then there's the post-exilic. Okay, and within these three time periods, so this is all 722 before 722 BC, before 586, right? Then this is the 70-year period, and then this is like 516 onwards. Okay, this is 516 BC onwards, right? So you've got books like Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Okay, you've got Ezra, Nehemiah. Then in the exilic period, you've got Daniel, you've got Ezekiel. Okay, and then pre-exilic, you've got Hosea, Amos, Isaiah, Jeremiah. Right. So if we look at these different prophetic books, you will notice the tone of these prophetic books are different, very different, one to the other. Okay, and let's take a little bit of a tour. Okay, a guided tour into the historical, cultural, spiritual context of three different periods of Israel's history. Okay. So the pre-722, 586 era, maybe 780, anything before 750 BC, okay? What do we see? Let's small turn, if you have your Bibles with you, to Hosea. Okay, the book of Hosea. Interestingly enough, the way our Old Testament is designed is a Protestant one, it's not a Catholic one. For Catholic ones, it's supposed somewhat a similar pattern, but Daniel is not supposed to be before Hosea. It's very ironic. In your Bible, it's Daniel then Hosea, but actually, in terms of chronology, Daniel is much later than Hosea. Okay? Daniel is probably written during around 500 BC, and Hosea is written about 750 BC, 200 years apart. Okay? Anyway, let's look at the condition of the country in a spiritual, social, political. We'll look at Amos in a short while, but turn with me to Hosea chapter 4. Okay. Are you all there? Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. Let's go. Hear the word of the Lord, or hear the word of Yahweh, you children of Israel and not Judah. Okay, it's addressed to the northern country. For Yahweh brings a charge against the inhabitants of the land. There is no truth or mercy or knowledge of Elohim in the land. By swearing and lying, killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break all restraint with bloodshed upon bloodshed. Therefore the land will mourn, and everyone who dwells there will waste away with the beasts of the field and the birds of the air. Even the fish of the sea will be taken away. Now let no man contend or rebuke another, for your people are like those who contend with the priest. Therefore you shall stumble in the day, the prophet also shall stumble with you in the night, and I will destroy your mother. When people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you from being priests for me, because you have forgotten the law of your God. I also will forget your children. The more they increase, the more they sin against me. I will change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people. They set their heart on their iniquity, and it shall be like people like priests. So I will punish them for their ways and reward them for their deeds. For they shall eat but not have enough. They shall commit harlotry but not increase, because they have ceased obeying the Lord. Harlotry, wine, and new wine enslave the heart. My people ask counsel from their wooden idols, and their staff informs them. For the spirit of harlotry has caused them to stray, and they have played the harlot against their God. They offer sacrifices on the mountaintops and burn incense on the hills, under oaks, poplars, and terebinths, because their shade is good. Therefore your daughters commit harlotry, and your brides commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit harlotry, nor your brides when they commit adultery, for the men themselves go apart with harlots and offer sacrifices with a ritual harlot. That means a temple prostitute. Remember that whole temple prostitute thing? Therefore people who do not understand will be trampled. Though you, Israel, play the harlot, let not Judah, the southern kingdom, offend. Do not come up to Gilgal, nor go up to Beth Aven, nor swear an oath, saying, as Yahweh lives, for Israel is stubborn like a stubborn calf. Now Yahweh will let them forage like a lamb in open country. Ephraim, the northern country, is joined to idols. Let him alone, their drink is rebellion. They commit harlotry continually. Her rulers dearly love dishonor. The wind has wrapped her up in its wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. Let's carry on. Chapter 5, verse 1. Hear this, O priest, take heed, O house of Israel. Give ear, O house of the king. This is to the northern kingdom. For yours is the judgment, because you have been a snare to Mizpah and a net spread on Tabor. The revolters are deeply involved in slaughter, though I rebuke them all. I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hidden from me. For now, O Ephraim, you commit harlotry, Israel is defiled. They do not direct their deeds toward turning to their God, for the spirit of harlotry is in their midst, and they do not know Yahweh. The spirit of Israel testifies to his face. Therefore Israel and Ephraim stumble in their iniquity. Judah also stumbles with them. With their flocks and herds they shall go to seek Yahweh, Hashem, but they will not find him. He has withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously with Hashem, for they have begotten pagan children. Now a new moon shall devour them and their heritage. Blow the ram's horn in Gibeah. Okay, where's this place? Remember Gibeah? Gibeah?
Benjamin, right?
Yes. Right? The trumpet in Ramah, cry aloud at Beth Aven, look behind you, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel I make known what is true. That means it's prophesying that Benjamin just looks across and sees Ephraim just completely destroyed, but Benjamin is spared. The princes of Judah are like those who remove a landmark. I will pour out my wrath on them like water. Ephraim is oppressed and broken in judgment, because he willingly walked by human precept. Therefore I will be to Ephraim like a moth, and to the house of Judah like rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, then Ephraim went to Assyria and sent to King Jareb, yet he cannot cure you, nor heal you of your wound. For I will be like a lion to Ephraim, and like a young lion to the house of Judah. Even I will tear them and go away. I will take them away, and no one shall rescue. I will return again to my place till they acknowledge their offense. Then they will seek my face. In their affliction they will earnestly seek. So this is just a snapshot, okay, of the spiritual condition of the northern kingdom, and a little hint of the southern kingdom, the Judah region. Okay, let's look at the social and a little bit of the political aspect of the northern kingdom. We can find in the book of Amos. Okay, so skip over to the book of Joel and come to the book of Amos, and okay, let's look at Amos chapter 3. Okay. Well, okay, no, let's look at Amos chapter 2, verse 6 onwards, and then we'll skip to Amos chapter 3, verse 9. Okay, but let's look at Amos chapter 2, verse 6. Thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4 I will not turn away its punishment, because they sell the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of sandals. You see injustice there. They pant after the dust of the earth, which is on the head of the poor, and pervert the way of the humble. A man and his father go into the same girl, defile my holy name. They lie down by every altar on clothes taken in pledge, and drink the wine of the condemned in the house of the God. Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, that means the previous Canaanites who were before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was as strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. Also it was I who brought you up from the land of Egypt, and led you 40 years through the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorite. I raised up some of your sons as prophets, and some of your young men as Nazirites. It Is it not so, O you children of Israel, the northern kingdom? Says Hashem. But you gave the Nazarites wine to drink and commanded the prophets, saying, Do not prophesy. Behold, I am weighed down by you, as a cart full of sheaves is weighed down. Therefore flight shall perish from the swift. The strong shall not strengthen his power, nor shall the mighty deliver himself. He shall not stand who handles the bow. The swift of foot shall not escape, nor shall he who rides a horse deliver himself. The most courageous man of might shall flee naked in that day, says Hashem. Let's skip over to verse 9, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim in the palaces at Ashdod, which is in Philistia, and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, Assemble on the mountains of Samaria. Samaria is the capital of Israel. See great tumults in her midst, and the oppressed within her, for they do not know to do right, says Hashem, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces. Palaces where? Real, very good, paying attention, right? Therefore, thus says the Lord God, an adversary shall be around the land, he shall sap your strength from you, and your palaces shall be plundered. Thus says Hashem, as a shepherd takes from the mouth of a lion 2 legs or a piece of an ear, so shall the children of the northern kingdom of Israel be taken out who dwell in Samaria, in the corner of a bed and on the edge of a couch. Hear and testify against the house of Jacob, which is the northern kingdom, says the Lord God, the God of hosts, that in the day I punish Israel for their transgressions, I will also visit destruction on the altars of Bethel and the northern kingdom, and the horns of the altars shall be cut off and fall to the ground. I will destroy the winter house along with the summer house. The houses of ivory shall perish, and the great houses shall have an end. The northern kingdom was very rich. The rich were very rich. They had summer houses and winter houses. Okay, usually reserved for people who are very rich, like all the summer, and then you go here, and then all the winter you go there, right? You got 2 houses, you got many property, basically. And let's carry on. Chapter 4, you'll see also what's going on. Verse 1. Hear this word, you cows of Bashan, who are on the mountain of Samaria. Now, Bashan is a place that is not in Samaria. Okay, Bashan is on the eastern side. Okay, this is now this area is Gilead, right? And Bashan is somewhere here. So the cows of Bashan are in Samaria, the capital city over here. Why is God saying that? It means that they act just like the non-Christians. Right? They act just like the heathen, right? The women are the cows of Bashan, who oppress the poor, who crush the needy, who say to your husbands, Bring wine, let us drink. The Lord God has sworn by his holiness, behold, the day shall come upon you when he will take you away with fish hooks, and your posterity with fish hooks. You will go out through broken walls, each one straight ahead of her, and you will be cast into Harmon, says Hashem. Come to Bethel and transgress, and Gilgal multiply transgression. Bring your sacrifice every morning, your tithes every 3 days. Offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving with leaven. Proclaim and announce the freewill offerings, for this you love, you children of Israel, says the Lord God. God is actually sarcastically saying, oh, come to Bethel and transgress lah. At Gilgal multiply your transgression, bring a sacrifice every morning, your tithes every 3 days, like your so-called religious ceremonies, which I hate, right? Offer a sacrifice, proclaim and announce, for this you love your children. But it's useless, okay? Now we see a little bit of that. Now, Amos is confronted at the altar of Bethel where he was prophesying. Okay, so it says here in Amos chapter 7. Amos chapter 7 verse 10. Okay, Amos chapter 7 verse 10. Now the priest in charge in the northern kingdom of Israel. Remember, Amos is from the south. Okay, but Amos comes up and he speaks against the nation and he says all the kind of things that you saw just now. And then Amaziah the priest at Bethel rebukes him and says, go back to Judah. Verse 10. Then Amaziah the priest of Bethel sent to Jeroboam, king of Israel, the Jeroboam the second, saying, Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of Israel. The land is not able to bear all these words, for thus Amos has said, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel shall surely be led away captive from their own land. Then Amaziah said to Amos, Go, you seer, flee to the land of Judah. There eat bread and there prophesy. For never again prophesy at Bethel, for it is the king's sanctuary and it is the royal residence. Ironically, it was not the royal residence, it Jezreel was the royal residence. But the Bethel is the residence of God, so to speak, right? The official religious location, right? Then Amos answered and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, nor was I son of a prophet, but I was a sheep breeder and a tender of sycamore fruit. Then the Lord Hashem took me as I followed the flock, and Hashem said to me, Go prophesy to my people Israel. Now therefore hear the word of Hashem. You say, do not prophesy against Israel, and do not spout against the house of Isaac. Therefore thus says the Lord. And then he proclaims a curse over Amaziah. Right, so let's just take a little kind of, I mean it sounds a bit serious right? But let's take a historical view on this, right? Then turn with me to Kings, the book of First Kings, and let's look at a few examples of the altar. Now, okay, let's go back in time to First Kings. This is sometime in 900 something BC, 200 years before the prophecy of Amos and Hosea. Okay, let's turn to 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25. Okay, then. Now it says, then this Jeroboam the first, okay, the one who led the rebellion out from Solomon. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the mountains of Ephraim and dwelt there. Also he went out. So the first capital city of Israel is Shechem, and then moved on to Tirzah, then moved on to Samaria, and so on. Right. Anyway, he started in Shechem. Also, he went out from there and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now the kingdom may return to the house of David if these people go up to offer sacrifices in the house of Hashem at Jerusalem. Then the heart of these people will turn back to their Lord Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they will kill me and go back to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Therefore the king asked advice, made 2 cars of gold, and said to the people, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Here are your gods of Israel, which brought you up from the land of Egypt. And he set up one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. Now this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one as far as Dan. He made shrines on the high places and made priests from every class of people who were not of the sons of Levi. Okay? Jeroboam ordained a feast on the 15th day of the 8th month, like the feast that was in Judah, and offered sacrifices on the altar, which is at Bethel and Dan. So he did at Bethel, sacrificing to the calves that he had made, and at Bethel he installed the priests of the high places which he had made. So he made offerings on the altar which he had made at Bethel on the 15th day of the 8th month, in the month which he had devised in his own heart, and he ordained a feast for the children of Israel and offered sacrifices on the altar and burnt incense. Jeroboam basically says, well, I can set the rules for myself. Right? I can install, these religious rituals just like God installed the religious rituals through Moses. But the thing is, Jeroboam was not called of the Lord. Yes, he was fulfilling prophecy when God says the kingdom will be torn from the line of David, but he took matters into his own hands and he set up these 2 altars. Okay, now, then there is God raises up a prophet to speak against Jeroboam. Right, let's look at that. Chapter 13. And behold, a man of God went from Judah to Bethel by the word of Hashem. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. Then he cried out against the altar by the word of Hashem and said, Oh, altar, altar. So this is a guy from Judah, almost like an Amos kind of person, right? From the south going up to the north, right? Like kind of Malaysia going up to Thailand, or Singapore going up to Malaysia, right? So he goes to this other country and says, Oh, altar, altar, thus says Hashem, behold a child, Josiah by name. Josiah would only come over and destroy this altar. This was in 900 BC. He will only come and destroy this altar somewhere in about 600 BC, 300 years later. Josiah by name shall be born to the house of David, and on you he shall sacrifice the priests of the high places who burn incense on you, and men's bones shall be buried on you. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which Hashem has spoken. Surely the altar shall split apart, and the ashes on it shall be poured out. So it came to pass when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, who cried out against the altar in Bethel, that he stretched out his arm from the altar, saying, Arrest him! Then his hand, which he stretched out toward him, withered, so that he could not pull it back to himself. The altar also was split apart, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of Hashem. Then the king answered and said to the man of God, Please entreat the favor of Hashem your God, and pray for me that my hand may be restored to me. Now this King Jeroboam was a worshipper of Hashem. Why does he say, entreat Hashem your God? Okay, it's obvious that God had left him. So the man of God entreated Hashem, and the king's hand was restored to him and became as before. Then the king said to the man of God, "Come home with me and refresh yourself, and I will give you a reward." But the man of God said to the king, "If you were to give me half your house, I would not go in with you, nor would I eat nor drink water in this place, for it was okay," and so on. Right, now what's happening is the king does not repent. Jeroboam the first is given a warning by this man of God that this altar will be destroyed. Yet he does not destroy it. And to make matters worse, God actually destroys it and splits it apart, right? And there's ashes on the ground to prove what this man of God's prophecy will come true. But Jeroboam instead asked him to come to his house to makan. What is Jeroboam doing? Jeroboam is not intent on destroying that altar at all. Okay? So the altar remains there for another 300 years. Right? So let's fast forward to okay, let's just, because since we were talking about this the last lesson, right? Let's just do a brief flashback because I got the Bible with me, so I can give you all the references. Okay, let's First Kings chapter 16, verse 15. Okay. Now, this is the story of how the Omride dynasty comes into power. Okay. So in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, Zimri had reigned in Tirzah 7 days, and the people were encamped against Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines. So the people were on this side now, the northern side. Okay, the western side. Now the people who were encamped here, they say, "Zimri has conspired and also killed the king." So all Israel made Omri, the commander of the army, king over Israel that day in the camp. Sounds very similar to Jehu. Okay. Then Omri and all Israel with him went up from Gibbethon, and they besieged Tirzah. And it happened when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the citadel of the king's house and burned the king's house down upon himself with fire and died, because of the sins which he had committed in doing evil in the sight of Hashem, walking in the way of Jeroboam, and in sin which he had committed to make Israel sin. Okay. Then verse 21. Then the people of Israel were divided into two parts. Half of the people followed Tibni the son of Ginah to make him king, and half followed Omri. Omri is just a military guy, right, which is the father of Ahab. But the people who followed Omri prevailed over the people who followed Tibni the son of Ginah. So Tibni died and Omri reigned. In the 31st year of Asa king of Judah, Omri became king over Israel, and he reigned 12 years. 6 years he reigned in Tirzah, and he bought the hill of Samaria from Shemer for 2 talents of silver. Then he built on the hill and called the name of the city which he built Samaria after the name of Shemer, owner of the hill. Omri did evil in the eyes of Hashem, and did worse than all who were before him, for he walked in all the ways of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and in his sin by which he had made Israel sin, provoking the Lord God of Israel to anger with his acts. Okay? Then his son Ahab comes into power, and you know the rest. Right, let's move forward and yeah.
Where is Tibni?
Tibni. No, Tibni is a guy.
Oh.
Tibni is
Then where is the? Oh. Wait, then it says Zimri reigned from Tirzah 7 days.
Yeah, that means he only.
Because it says in Judah. Oh.
Yeah, there's 2 separate kings. There's Asa king of Judah, and then there's it's a bit confusing. Right, never mind. So we skip. There's a whole interesting fight between Ahab and the Arameans, okay? And then there's the Ben-Hadad treaty and things like that, and then Naboth. Let's look at the story of Jehu quickly, right? Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, became king over Israel. This is 1 Kings chapter 22. Okay, verse 51. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 51. Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, became king over Israel and Samaria in the 17th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 2 years over Israel. Wow, what a short reign. Why was it such a short reign? Hello?
Did evil and I evil.
No, what happened to him? Yeah, he did evil.
He got killed.
How did he get killed? No. How did he die? We covered this before. Hello? The three of you who were in class just now. The first king of Ahab, how did he die? The first son of Ahab.
He lattice.
He fell through the lattice work. He only reigned for 2 years, and then he fell. And so this Ahaziah, that's the name of the first king. Okay. and he was also an evil king. He served Baal and worshipped him and provoked the Lord God according to all his father had done. Okay, let's look at Ahaziah. So, now this is 2 Kings chapter 1. Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. Now Ahaziah, verse 2, fell through the lattice of his upper room in Samaria and was injured. So he sent messengers and said to them, go inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, which is the Philistines, whether I shall recover from this injury. Verse 3, this is what we talked about last lesson. But the angel of Hashem said to Elijah, the Tishbite, arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say to them, is it because there is no God in Israel that you are going to inquire Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron? Now therefore thus says Hashem, you shall not come down from the bed to which you have gone up, but you shall surely die. Okay, so he dies. Okay. Right, so then there's a little story about how this Ahaziah tries to bring Elijah to him, but Elijah calls down fire and kills like 3 batches of soldiers, right? But that's not the point. We also fast forward the whole thing about him going up to heaven, which we have talked about, and we also fast forward the whole story of Jehoram and Elisha, and let's go to Jehu. Okay. Let's see. I won't talk about the Syrians and the Arameans, although this is important, you can read it for yourself. But let's look at how Jehu kills the 2 kings. Okay. So we are in 2 Kings chapter 9. Okay. So in Elisha the prophet called one of the sons of the prophets and said to him, get yourself ready, take this flask of oil in your hand and go to Ramoth Gilead. Now when you arrive at that place, look there for Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and make him rise up from among his associates and take him to an inner room. Then take the flask of oil, pour it on his head and say, thus says Hashem, I have anointed you king over Israel. Then open the door and flee and do not delay. Okay, based on our story this morning. So the young man, an unknown person, the servant of the prophet, went to Ramoth Gilead. And we know where Ramoth Gilead is. It's on the eastern side here. Okay, so all the soldiers were armed and meeting there. And when he arrived, there were the captains of the army sitting, and he said, I have a message for you, commander. Jehu said, for which one of us? That means all of them were commanders. And he said, for you, commander. Then he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head and said to him, thus says Hashem, God of Israel, I have anointed you king over the people of Hashem, over Israel. You shall strike down the house of Ahab, your master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants, the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of Hashem at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab all the males of in Israel, both born and free. So I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah. Dogs shall eat Jezebel on the plot of ground in Jezreel, and there shall be none to bury her, because not much of the body left. And he opened the door and ran away. And then Jehu came out to the servants of his master, and one of them said, is all well? Why did this madman come to you? And he said, well, you know the man and his babble. And they said, a lie, tell us now, right? They all knew, you can see his facial expression, he was trying to hide something. So he said, thus and thus he spoke to me, saying, thus says Hashem, I have anointed you king over Israel. Then each man hastened to take his garment and put it under him on the top of the steps, and they blew the trumpet saying, Jehu is king. Okay? So they they acknowledge his rule, and Jehu goes to kill these 2 kings. Okay? And then he kills the queen mother all at the same time. Wow, a lot of work done in one day. So Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, this is a different Jehoshaphat of the south, right? He's from the north, son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Now Joram had been defending Ramoth Gilead, he and all Israel, against Hazael, king of Syria. Remember Hazael? Right? Elisha had anointed him. But King Joram had returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds which the Syrians had inflicted on him when he fought with Hazael, king of Syria. And Jehu said, if you are so minded, let no one leave or escape from the city to go and tell it in Jezreel. So he told all the people in Ramoth Gilead to not say a single word. Well, whereas he and his group of people went to Jezreel to kill the 2 kings. So Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, for Joram was laid up there, and Ahaziah, now this is why I was saying about confusing names, right? Ahaziah is the son of, wait, let me just put on there. Okay. In the second year of Joram. Okay, we are not sure whether Joram is, I think Joram could be Ahaziah's brother, right? Not the Ahaziah's son. Anyway, so Jehu rode in a chariot went to Jezreel, for Joram was laid up there, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, had come down to see Joram. Now a watchman stood on a tower in Jezreel, and he saw the company of Jehu as he came, and he said, yeah.
Isn't Ahaziah the king?
No, this is a different Ahaziah. Yeah, this is a different
So
Ahaziah.
this is after Asa already lah.
What do you mean after Asa?
Because during Ahaziah, the king of Israel. Oh wait.
Yeah, Ahaziah fell down through the lattice work and
Then
he
there is
died.
another Judah guy.
Then there's another guy who is Ahaziah from Judah itself. That's why I say it's a bit confusing. Anyway.
So who's the current king of Israel?
Okay, at that time it was Joram who was the king of Israel, who is the son of Ahab. Okay, and he's about to die. Killed by Jehu. So Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, for Joram was there. And now watchmen stood on the tower in Jezreel and saw a company of Jehu as he came and said, I see a company of men. And Joram said, get a horseman and send him to meet them. And then he said, is it peace? So the horseman went to meet him and said, thus says the king, is it peace? And Jehu said, what have you to do with peace? Turn around and follow me. So the watchman reported, saying, the messengers went to them, but he's not coming back. Then he sent out the second horseman. Now, I talked about this in my previous class. You know, this Joram was completely clueless as to what was going to happen to him, right? And that's usually the sign of people who are clueless about the judgment and the problems that are going to come upon them, and then the judgment comes in all time. Okay, so don't be like one of them. Be a watchful, sengmok person before all these things happen to you, right? Anyway, the messenger went there without coming. They sent a second horseman who came to them and said, thus says the king, is it peace? And Jehu answered, what have you to do with peace, or what do you know about peace? Or what is peace to you? Turn around and follow me. So the watchman reported, saying, he went up to them and is not coming back. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu the son of Nimshi, for he drives furiously. Then Joram said, again another mistake, make ready, and his chariots will make ready. Then Joram king of Israel and Ahaziah king of Judah went out. Wrong move, guys. You don't go out when you're not sure whether this guy is coming for peace or not. And you're injured some more, right? Joram was injured. Each in his chariot, and they went up to meet Jehu and met him on the property of Naboth the Jezreelite. Now it happened when Joram saw Jehu that he said, is it peace, Jehu? Same question. So he answered, what peace as long as the harlotries of your mother Jezebel? Okay, so Joram is the son of Ahab and is the brother of Ahaziah who fell through the lattice work. And her witchcraft are so many. Then Joram turned around and fled and said to Ahaziah, treachery, Ahaziah! Right, wrong move again. You do not turn your back against one of the greatest military men in Israel, Jehu, right? Because you're going to be an open target, which he was, and he became, and he died. So in his youthful blurriness, or stupidity, or incompetence, or whatever you want to call it, he said he turned his chariot around and said, treachery, Ahaziah, let's run for our little lives. He didn't get very far. Now Jehu drew his bow with full strength. Now he's a mighty, strong man, and shot Joram between his arms, and the arrow came out at his heart, and he sank down in his chariot. Right, from the back, right out. It must have been really, really serious. Okay. Then Jehu said to Bigha, his captain, pick him up, throw him into the track of the field of Naboth the Jezreelite. For remember, when you and I were riding together behind Ahab his father, that the Lord, the Hashem, laid his burden upon him. Surely I saw yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons there. This is the thing that says, you know, that it was not just Naboth who died, it was also his sons and his family. Says Hashem, and I will repay you in this plot, says Hashem. Now therefore take and throw him on the plot of ground according to the word of the Lord. Now when Ahaziah king of Judah saw this, he fled by the road to Beth-Hagen. So Jehu pursued him and said, shoot him also in the chariot. And they shot him at the accent of Gur, which is by Edim. Then he fled to Megiddo and died there. And his servants carried him in the chariot to Jerusalem, buried him in his tomb with his fathers in the city of David. In the 11th year of Joram, the son of Ahaziah, had become king over Judah. And then of course Jezebel's death. Okay. Now when Jehu had come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she put paint on her eyes and adorned her head and looked through a window. Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody put makeup and go to the window and say hello? Right? Why would anyone do that? Right? Apart from the fact that she was maybe hoping that she could seduce him, even though she's an old lady. Having said that, Jehu is not young either. Right? Jehu is kind of a senior guy, but slightly younger man. And I think she, as this old lady, was hoping that, you know, maybe you want to be a lion, I can do whatever you want me to do. Right? Then as Jehu entered at the gate, she said, is it peace in me, murderer of your master? Right? Then he looked up at the window and said, "Who is on my side? Who?" So 2 or 3 eunuchs looked out at him. Then he said, "Throw her down." So they threw her down. And some of her blood spattered on the wall and the horses, and he trampled her underfoot. Right? So as if that's not enough, she might not have fully died. Maybe she broke her legs or something like that or whatever. She's like dying, and then Jehu took his horses and trampled her until the body was unrecognizable. And when he had gone in, he ate and drank. He had lunch after that. After killing 2 kings and 1 queen mother, right? Not too bad for a day. Then he said, "Go now, see to this accursed woman and bury her, for she was a king's daughter." So they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands.
Ew.
The rest of the body was thickened by dogs. Therefore, they came back and told him, and he said, "This is the word of Hashem which he spoke by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, On the plot of ground at Jezreel, dogs shall eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the corpse of Jezebel shall be as refuse on the surface of the field in the plot at Jezreel, so that they shall not say, Here lies Jezebel." Because now there will be no grave of Jezebel at all. Her memory of her body is completely wiped out. And then of course we look at the stories of the 70 sons that are killed. We talked about this just now. It's said here in 2 Kings chapter 10, but we won't go into that. Now anyway, we see how eventually Jehu and his sons are also not very good. Okay, Jehoash or Jehoahaz, right, the son of Ahaz. Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, became king over Israel and Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. And he did evil in the sight of Hashem, followed the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, who made Israel. And Hazael came and created problems and so on and so forth. And there's that ongoing war between Israel and Syria or Arab. Okay, but we fast forward. Okay, we fast forward to Jeroboam II. Now, this is 2 Kings chapter 14, verse 23. So after Israel is wiped out, Jehu's household is wiped out, we see in the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam the son of Joash, king of Israel, became king of Samaria, and he reigned 41 years. Sorry, Jeroboam II reigns 41 years, not 12 years. And he did evil in the sight of Hashem. He did not depart from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel to say, what are the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat? Hello?
He accepted the 2 offers.
Yes, that is the sin of Jeroboam son of Nebat. So they did not abolish the altar. Okay? He restored the territory of Israel from the entrance of Hamath to the sea of the Arabah, according to the word of Hashem, God of Israel, which he had spoken through his servant Jonah, the son of Amittai, the prophet who was from Gath people. This is the same Jonah who went to Assyria and warned the Nineveh people. Okay? So Jonah was from the northern country. For Hashem saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter, and whether born or free there was no help for Israel. And Hashem did not say that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. Now, the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, all that he did is might, how he made war and how he recaptured for Israel from Damascus. I did not know. So Jeroboam rested with his father's king of Israel, then Zechariah his son reigned in his place. And then from that, this point onwards, yeah.
Is there a book of annals?
There's supposed to be, but we're not sure. Maybe it could be.
Because they always refer.
Yeah. It could be chronicles. It could be other sources we don't know, right? But there are a lot of like book of Jasher and the book of this and that and so on. So some books we can find, some books we can't find. Anyway, I'm going to quickly go. This is heading towards the end of Israel. Okay, let's look at the end of Israel. So after Jeroboam II, I told you that Jeroboam II is the one of the last long kings of Israel, the northern kingdom. And after that, shortly after, all the kings that followed are in quick succession, and then the end comes very quickly to Israel. Okay, what happens? Zechariah, the son of Jeroboam, reigned over Israel in Samaria 6 months only, right? So after 42 years of Jeroboam II, and he established peace, stability, political, economic security. But you just read just now, we just read from Hosea and Amos, these are during the time of Jeroboam II. Okay? Jeroboam II, all these abuses and idolatry and harlotry and all that, that these prophets were speaking about was happening in the time of Jeroboam II. Now, Zechariah, his son, only reigns in Samaria 6 months. Verse 9, 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 9. And he did evil in the sight of Hashem as his fathers had done. He did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel to sin. Then Shallum, the son of Jabesh, who is a random guy, conspired against him and struck and killed him in front of the people, and he reigned in his place, assassinated the son of Jeroboam II. And okay, then next one, Shalom the son of Jabesh, who was the assassinator, the usurper. Son of Jabesh became king in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned a full month in Samaria. It's quite a long time, 1 whole month. Okay, he kills Zechariah, who had been king only for 6 months, and he reigned for 1 month. Okay, 1 full month in Samaria. For Menahem the son of Gadi went up from Tirzah, came to Samaria, and struck Shalom the son of Jabesh in Samaria, killed him, and reigned in his place. Okay, so Shalom assassinates Zechariah, and then Menahem assassinates Shalom, right? And so Menahem attacked Tipsah, because Menahem reigns in Israel, okay, and he reigned 10 years in Samaria, alright, so it's pretty long. And he did evil in the sight, did not depart from the sin of Jeroboam son of Nebat, who king of Assyria came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to strengthen the king might control. Menahem exacted money from the people, from all the very wealthy, from each man 50 shekels of silver to give to the king of Assyria. You notice that the northern kingdom was very rich, so Menahem could take so much money from all these rich people who were criticized by Hosea and Amos just now. The women of Bashan, these rich women, like, telling their husbands what to do, kind of similar to a situation in our country, political, somewhat similar, I'm not going to mention names. Okay, so King of Israel turned back and did not stay there. That means he bought himself some time. Right? But after he died, his son, Pekahiah, reigned his place. And he reigned only for 2 years. And then Pekahiah is killed. He is assassinated by Pekah. Okay? Pekahiah is assassinated by Pekah. There's another person. One of his officers conspired against him. This is somewhat pattern. You see the officers of the king, conspiring against the king and killing him off, right? You see a pattern there, all the way from Omri and all these other guys and so on.
Omri started it, is it?
Well, actually not really. There were other people before Omri. There was Baasha, there was all these other guys. Okay. Anyway, he killed him after 2 years and then reigned in his place. Okay. Now, Pekah reigned 20 years. Okay, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from the sin. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Israel, came and took Ijon and took all these towns in Israel. Ijon, Abel, Beth Makkah, Jano, Kadesh, Hazor, Gilead, guys, Gilead. Assyria took this whole area, okay, during Pekah's reign, 20-year reign, and Galilee, all the northern part, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Israel. Then Hoshea the son of Elah led a conspiracy against Pekah son of Remaliah, struck and killed him. So he reigned in his place in the 20th year, and Hoshea is the last king of Israel. Okay, now let's fast forward to chapter 17. 2 Kings chapter 17. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, Hoshea the son of Elah became king. I mean, we don't know who these guys are. It's not Hosea, it's Hoshea. Hoshea became king of Israel, and he reigned 9 years, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel who before him. Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against him, and Hoshea became his vassal, paid him tribute money. King of Israel uncovered conspiracy by Hoshea, for he sent messengers to Saul, king of Egypt, and brought no tribute to the king of Israel. Therefore the king of Israel shut him up and bound him in prison. Now the king of Assyria went throughout all the land, went up to Samaria, and besieged it for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel took Samaria and carried Israel away to Assyria, placed them in Halah and by the Habor river Gazan and the city of Medes. And so it was that the children of Israel, northern country, had sinned against Hashem their God, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and they had feared other gods and had walked in the statutes of the nations whom the Lord had cast them out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel they had made. Also the children of Israel secretly did against Hashem their God things that were not right, and they built for themselves high places in all their cities, from watchtower to fortified city. They set up for themselves sacred pillars, Asherah pillars, and wooden images on every high hill and under every green tree. Kind of like what we see in Malaysia, all these tokong near the trees, those red, small little red color, topekong kind of things. You see that there as well in Israel. Right? There they burn incense on all the high places, like the nations whom Hashem had carried away before them, and they did wicked things provoke Hashem to anger, for they serve idols of which Hashem had said for them, "You shall not do this thing." Yet Hashem testified against Israel and against Judah by all of his prophets, every seer, saying, "Turn from your evil ways, keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, which I sent to you by my servants the prophets." Nevertheless, they would not hear, but stiffened their necks like the necks of their fathers, who did not believe in Hashem their God. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with his fathers, and his testimony which he had testified against them. They followed idols, became idolaters, and went after nations who were all around them, concerning whom Hashem had charged them that they should not do like them. So they left all the commandments of Hashem their God, made for themselves a molded image and two calves. Molded image and two calves. Hello, who is this? Yeah, Bethel and Dan. Okay? Made a wooden image and worship all the hosts of heaven and serve Baal. And they caused their sons and daughters to pass through the fire, practice witchcraft and soothsaying, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Hashem, to provoke him to anger. Therefore, Hashem was very angry with Israel and removed them from his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah alone. Okay? Then let's skip to verse 24. Then the king, are you there? Chapter 17, verse 24. The king of Assyria brought people from Babylon, Kutha, Ava, Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they took possession of Samaria and dwelt in its cities. And it was so at the beginning of the dwelling that okay, let's skip this part here. But I want to just say this. This, my dear friends, marks the end of the northern kingdom. 722, Assyria comes in and kills a nation. If you can kill a person, you can kill a nation. How do you kill a nation? You come in, you kill off all the leaders, you kill off as many people as possible. Sometimes you don't even bother, like, just too malas to kill all the people, like, they're all useless and worthless. So they take all these people and they scatter them all around the world and gather other people from around the world to stay in their place. It's kind of like when a person dies, falls to the ground, his dead body is there, and then over time, what happens? Body decomposes, right? And all that's left is the bones. So when we go to ancient Rome, we go to Italy, right? We go to Rome, we see the columns of the Roman Empire. These are the bones of the ancient civilization called the Roman Empire. That once stretched from such a wide place, but now all that remains is these bones of the civilization. So it's the same thing, right? In a bigger scale, macro scale, a nation can be destroyed, can be killed, as it were, as a nation. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize, but 10 of those tribes that formed the northern kingdom of Israel never came back together.
Till now?
Naphtali, Zebulun, Asher, Gad, Reuben, Manasseh, Ephraim, who else?
Dan.
I think we read this. But okay, all these guys. Simeon, and two more others, right? These 10 tribes, right, never recovered. They are known today as the lost tribes of Israel.
Levi also.
No, not Levi. Some of the Levites survived.
Who was the
Sorry?
tribes of Israel?
Now mostly Benjamites, Judahites, and Levites.
Yeah.
Okay? And maybe some random guys out there, like, oh, I can trace my origin back to Ephraim, right, or back to Manasseh, but there's just one guy, right? You don't have the entire tribe coming back together again anymore, ever.
It's funny how the Benjamites were the ones who survived.
Yes. Saul is a Benjamite, by the way. The Paul. Who later became Paul, right? It's ironic, that Paul redeemed Saul. because his predecessor as well, he becomes one of the first doctors or theologians of the church, right?
Gentiles.
To the Gentiles. He does something that Saul couldn't do, right? But anyway,
So God actually completely
annihilated, exactly, that's the word. Annihilated the northern kingdom. Yes. Wiped out from the map. To this very day, never recovered. Never came back. The exiles who came back after the exile, alright, were from the southern country of Judah. All the Ezra and Nehemiah, they come back to the land, they build the wall, all that, Judah. The northern kingdom never came back.
The thing is, Northern Kingdom, they always did evil, right?
But they were Jews, they were Hebrews, just like the south, right? But I mean, their faith is like half lah, right? You know, there's a lot of other things involved. I mean, to be fair to the Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom also, there were also, you know, idolatry and all that kind of horrible things going on in the south as well, and God also wiped it out. But He had a mercy on the Davidic line, right? Because through this Davidic line, one day Messiah will arrive. So He preserved this small group, this band of about 50,000 people or less. Okay? Everybody else slaughtered. 50,000 people remained of the Jews at the time in exile.
So during the time of Jesus,
By then they already grow already lah.
during the time of Jesus, how many tribes?
No tribes. There was no tribes. Everybody just like, oh, I'm Jewish, so that's it. And some from the Levitical tribe, they still maintain their Levitical roots lah. Or then they serve in the temple and all that kind of stuff lah. But the Pharisees, you know Pharisees? No tribe one. The Pharisees are from all over. Most of them probably from tribe of Judah lah. Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. A lot of people don't know this. They're like, wow, so 长啊. Yes, it was complete destruction. Complete. God killed the nation. Killed it. Just like God killed the Philistines and God killed all these Edomites. And, okay, God didn't completely kill the Edomites. But God killed the Amalekites. Today you cannot go to the country of Amalek. Right? There's no such thing as country of Amalek. Right? You can't go to a country of Philistia. Right? Even the Palestinians are not Philistines. They're different. They're Arabs. They're not Philistines. There is no more Philistines in the world. Completely wiped out. Extinct. Okay? So the only Jews that we see today are all from the southern kingdom. All the northern guys all were scattered to all these other places, and all these other places came and scattered, and these formed the early forms of the Samaritans. Samaritans are mixed. Already as bad as it is in the northern kingdom, right? They're already mixed, as in religiously mixed. But then when the Assyrians get all these different tribes to come and stay in the northern kingdom and replace them, okay, they also mix with some of the local Jews there, but very few. The people who were left in the land were like the children and the old people. So it's like scattering of a few children here and there, that's it. And then these Jewish children, whatever left heritage that they have, they marry the local. Not local, they marry the foreign person that has been repatriated to where they are. Then they Jew and whatever Babylonian mix up. Okay? So they are already mixed blood. So by the time of Jesus, hundreds of years later, right, the Samaritans are all mixed. So the Jews all look down on them. They say, you are not a pure Jew. We are all from Judah. We all marry among ourselves. All Judah and Benjamin, among ourselves. We are all pure Jews. Okay? So the northern country, the northern kingdom never survived the exile. It's only the southern kingdom that survived.
Was Jesus a pure Jew?
Yes.
But then one of his ancestors is more, but
Four of them actually, some of them they were problems, right? But yeah, it's not the pure in a way as well, okay? If you want to count it like that. But majority wise, it's still pretty Jewish. Anyway,
it's pretty Jewish.
yeah. So I just want to conclude by saying that number one, we are living like as if this is the northern kingdom. Destruction is at our door. There's going to be a time in the world where Christians are going to be persecuted, are going to be killed, countries are going to be destroyed or changed. I mean, we see the recent Brussels attacks, right? And there might be even worse things happening in the days to come. And what are we doing to prepare ourselves for that? The answer is, Jesus has already warned us in advance. He has already told us that there will be wars and rumors of wars, there will be this, there will be that, all these upheavals that are happening. Right? If we are not emotionally prepared for these upheavals, we will be swept away with that whole panic and fear and pandemonium that really happens when these kind of big things happen. Okay? When war happens, everybody just freaks out, right? But if you and I are waiting for that days of these last days, as it were, we'll be cool as cucumbers. We'll be like, like Jesus already predicted it in the first place. So what's the whole big fuss about it? I mean, it's sooner or later, it's about time it happened. We'll be able to think more rationally rather than act based on an impulse of fear. No doubt it's going to be tough because everybody's going to be rushing for food and all the hypermarkets will be all empty and you have no food at home. And food becomes a control item. and you all have to get the chip to buy food. And you're like, isn't the chip not good? Yeah, but if you don't have a chip, you starve. So what do you do? Okay? You're like, I have no choice, I have to get a chip. Okay? But we are heading towards that. That is our destination. I mean, if we really knew what these prophecies are going to talk about, we won't be as chill as we are now. We're kind of like, oh, we're pretty chill, everything's going to be nice and formal and